Today again in another episode, I'm going to take you through the rise and fall of Fly540, how Kenya's low-cost airline lost its wings. Imagine being able to fly across Kenya for nearly the same price as a bus ticket. In the mid-2000s, that dream became a reality. One airline changed the air travel forever by making flying affordable for thousands of ordinary Kenyans who had never imagined stepping into an aeroplane. Business people, students, tourists, and family suddenly had a new way to travel. Airports that had once been quiet began receiving more passengers than ever before. The company behind this revolution was Fly540. For several years, Fly540 appeared unstoppable. It expanded across Kenya, entered the neighboring countries, and became one of East Africa's most recognizable low-cost airlines. But then, the success began to fade. Flights became fewer, financial troubles mounted, ownership disputes emerged, customers lost confidence, and eventually, the airline that had promised to transform Africa aviation found itself struggling to survive. So, what really happened? How did one of Kenya's fastest growing airlines lose its altitude? This is the story of the rise and fall of Fly540. The aviation industry before Fly540. Let me take you through the aviation industry before Fly540. To understand Fly540's success, we first need to look at Kenya's aviation industry before its arrival. In the early 2000s, domestic air travel was considered a luxury. The market was dominated by Kenya Airways and a handful of charter operators. Ticket prices were expensive. Many Kenyans preferred buses, even though road journeys could take 8 to 12 hours. Flying was seen as something reserved for business executives, politicians, wealthy tourists, and government officials. There was a huge gap in the market. People wanted cheaper flights. No airline had fully embraced the low-cost business model that had already transformed Europe through companies like Ryanair and EasyJet. This presented an opportunity. The birth of Fly540. Fly540 was launched in 2006 by the Kenyan company 540 Aviation Limited. Its name came from the famous 5:40 p.m. flight between Nairobi and Mombasa, one of Kenya's busiest air routes. The airline's mission was simple: make flying affordable. Instead of offering luxury meals and premium services, Fly540 focused on keeping operating costs low while providing safe and reliable transportation. The strategy worked almost immediately. Customers were attracted by significantly lower fares than traditional airlines. For many first-time passengers, Fly540 became their first experience flying. Within months, the airline had gained national attention. Its rapid growth, Fly540 expanded aggressively. New domestic destinations included Kisumu, Eldoret, Malindi, Lamu, Lodwar, and Lokichogio. Soon, regional expansion followed. Operations began in Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, and Ghana. The airline invested in aircraft suitable for short regional routes, including ATR turboprops and Bombardier Dash 8 aircraft. Its recognizable orange and white branding became familiar at airports across East Africa. Passenger numbers grew rapidly. Competition increased. Even larger airlines were forced to rethink pricing because Fly540 had changed the customer expectations. For a while, everything seemed to be going according to plan. The investments that changed everything. As Fly540 expanded, it needed more money. Growing an airline is incredibly expensive. Aircraft leasing, fuel, maintenance, airport fees, insurance, staff salaries. Expansion required serious investment. In 2012, London-based investment company Lonho sold a majority stake in Fly540's Africa's aviation business to FastJet, a new airline backed by international investors and modeled after Europe's low-cost carriers. The goal was ambitious. FastJet wanted to create Africa's version of EasyJet. Fly540 will become the foundation for this continental expansion. On paper, it looked like a perfect partnership. In reality, it became the beginning of years of conflict. Ownership disputes. Soon after the acquisition, disagreements emerged. The founders of the 540 Aviation and FastJet disagreed over the terms of the transaction, ownership rights, debts, and operational control. Legal battles followed. Court cases emerged in multiple countries. Instead of focusing on serving customers, management attention shifted towards lawsuits and corporate disputes. The airline's reputation suffered. Investors became cautious. Business partners lost confidence. Employees faced uncertainty. This period marked a turning point. Financial pressure. While ownership dispute continued, the airline faced growing financial challenges. Fuel prices increased. African currencies weakened against the US dollar, making aircraft leases and spare parts more expensive. Competition intensified. Large airlines offered better scheduled and newer fleets. Some routes were no longer profitable. Operating costs continued rising while revenues struggled to keep pace. The airline began reducing routes. Some aircraft were grounded. Expansion plan stalled. The momentum that had fueled the Fly540's rise had disappeared completely, losing customer confidence. Airlines depend heavily on trust. Passengers need confidence that flights will depart on time. As operational challenges increased, customers reported delays, cancellations, and reduced schedules. Travel agencies became more cautious about recommending the airline. Corporate clients shifted to competitors. Once customers lose confidence, rebuilding trust is extremely difficult. Revenue declined further. The airline entered a circle that many struggling businesses experience. Less revenue, reduced investment, poorer service, even fewer customers. Where is Fly540 today? Today, Fly540 no longer enjoys the dominant position it once held. Many of the routes it pioneered are now served by competitors such as JumboJet, SafariLink, and Skyward Express. Although the Fly540 brand still exists in limited form, it is only a shadow of the airline that once promised to revolutionize African aviation. Its dream of becoming the continent's leading low-cost airline was never fully realized. Fly540 story offers important lessons for every entrepreneur. First, a great business idea can transform an industry. Fly540 proved that affordable air travel was possible in East Africa. Second, rapid expansion requires strong financial planning. Growth without sufficient capital can become a burden. Third, corporate governance matters. Ownership disputes can destroy years of hard work. Finally, customer trust is one of the company's greatest assets. Once lost, it can take years or prove impossible to gain. Let me conclude by saying, Fly540 changed the Kenya aviation forever. It proved that ordinary people could afford to fly. It forced competitors to rethink their pricing. It opened new routes. It inspired future low-cost airlines. Although its journey was marked by legal battles, financial difficulties, and operational setbacks, its impact on East Africa aviation remains undeniable. Some businesses disappear without leaving a mark. Fly540 was different. It changed the industry. even if it could not sustain its own success. Its story is a reminder that innovation can launch a company into the skies, but leadership, financial discipline, and sound governance are what to keep it there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more stories about the rise and fall of Kenya's biggest companies. Zawadi ukongo, msichana mdogo.